The future's toughest cop is Katie Coltrane.
I'm back.
And now she's getting a new partner.
Dun, 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 dun.
His name is Teddy.
Hit me. It's a dinosaur.
You two solved this case together.
Oh, what? What? It's a dinosaur.
New partner, Coltrane?
He's got the style.
I'm here for a new look.
Step right up.
Push the button.
He's a cop.
Mahalo!
You gotta make him look like a real cop.
I'm too sexy for my clothes.
That thing at the table just clacked at me.
He's got horns for you. It's very normal.
He's got the charm.
Your mind shut down and your glands have taken over.
And he's got the appetite
You cannot eat our only suspect.
to come out
Yes.
on top.
I'm amazing.
New Line Cinema presents
Hey, you think you're gonna get somebody?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Can you just slide your butt? Yeah, that's great.
Like that?
And introducing
Ooh, doggy!
Teddy.
Sweets. One a customer.
Theodore Rex.
Pig.
It's a tale you'll never forget.
I love when he does that.
Hello and welcome to Big Dumb Movie, where we discuss a different Big Dumb movie every episode. I'm your host, Korey, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alan.
Hello.
And Steve.
Yeah.
Why so sad, Steve?
Did you not watch that movie just now?
I tried. I had a tough time with it, to be honest. Well, we should start off right. Today is May the 4th. That's the date of this recording.
May
So
the 4th be with you.
happy Star Wars Day, fellas. In honor of Star Wars Day, we watched Theodore Rex.
That has nothing to do with Star Wars at all.
No, but I had to get my Star Wars reference in. Get it in early.
We should have forced today to be one of the prequel days.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you're right.
Yeah. Too late
It's too
now.
late. We watched this abomination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I reviewed that recently anyway, at least one of them. So we watched Theodore Rex, which came out in 1995. It's a film that has a 0% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes,
Generous.
and it is directed by a guy called Jonathan Betul, I believe is the pronunciation.
Yeah.
He also, this guy wrote The Last Starfighter. That's one of your favorites, right?
Absolutely one of my favorites. And the guy who directed it was trying relatively recently to get a sequel made. But that's unbelievable. And I believe he retired from filmmaking after this movie.
Yes, he directed nothing after Theodore Rex.
Yeah. I think he specifically said that it was because the studio screwed this one up so badly he just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I could see that happening.
Yeah, unfortunate for this guy. Theodore Rex is a movie that, much like Alan with every movie, I had heard about, but I'd never seen. Have either of you guys seen Theodore Rex up until today?
Never all the way through, only clips.
I have not. I've only seen. I remember the poster. I remember it coming out, and I remember seeing a clip or two.
Yeah, I saw
But I
that
never
poster a
saw
lot of
it.
places, it seems
Yeah.
like maybe like at local video rental stores.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yeah.
those things I would see, but I would never pick.
Where she's
Right.
like shoulder to shoulder, and they're like leaning on each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I always went with the safe picks as a kid, like Bill and Ted. Something
Oh,
I know and love,
yeah.
you know?
Right? Well, I mean, I was 12 when this came out, so I should have been in the right age bracket, but I don't even remember it being out. My only memory of it, kind of what you guys said, was I think seeing it on VHS at the video rental store.
Well, because it didn't come out in
Oh, that's
theaters.
right. That's right. It didn't. Oh, you know what? That's right. It's right, because it ended up, they made this movie for like $33 million. It was supposed to go to theaters. It ended up going straight to home video, and because they'd made it on such a big budget, it was, for a long time anyway, the record holder for most expensive movie to ever go straight to video.
Wow.
Yeah.
We review a lot of record holders.
We do bad records.
You said 33 million for
33
this.
million. And that's in $95. That is non-inflation adjusted.
33 million
Yeah.
for this dinosaur movie.
Right?
It's hard to believe.
It is. Where'd it all go?
Whoopi, I guess?
Yeah.
So what happened with Whoopi Goldberg, who's the star of this?
I know that so it's not totally unusual for studios to do these deals with celebrities where they'll produce something the celebrity wants to make in exchange for an agreement that person will appear in something else later at the studio's discretion. And I think I remember hearing this was one of those situations that she'd gotten them to do something else, and the agreement was, well, you have to appear then in a movie we choose, and this ended up being what they chose, and she agreed to do it like back in 92 without knowing it was going to turn out the way it ended up being. Like 2/3 of the way through production, I think, or maybe earlier, she sued them to try to get out of doing it, and they ended up upping her pay to $7 million to get her to stay, which was pretty big money in 95.
Yeah, that's a lot of their budget.
Yeah.
I want to know what she thought this was supposed to be, where she originally agreed to do it.
I think that's one of those things where when she agreed to do it, there was no script yet because it was 3 years before they started making anything. I think somebody pitched her something vaguely like this, like future sci-fi and dinosaurs.
You're a cop.
Right, you're a cop. She said, all right, something like that sounds fine.
And this is what I heard on the topic. It was a verbal contract that she agreed to. So she agreed to do this film, like Steve said a little bit before. And then when it came around to doing it and she got the script and everything, that's when she was like, no, I'm not doing that shit. And
Right.
like, well, it's a contract. They went to court, like Steve said.
Yeah.
They paid her more and she did it, essentially.
That's how you know it's bad. She agrees to do it, and then when she sees what it is, she's just out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't sign up before there's a script.
Oh my God. And how did this get approved? Did they do any like panels or ask anybody or any reviews?
Yeah.
Or
It must have
just go
sounded
through the
like a better
process?
idea in the boardroom. Like,
I don't know. I think they just they must have had like leftover costumes from the fucking set of that sitcom Dinosaurs, that TGIF sitcom.
I love
And
that
they're like,
show.
let's just use these and make a movie. At least that's what I would think. But then again, maybe not, because as much as this movie cost, they probably had to make everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that it's a weird thing to think about, but they like have to spend a certain amount of money per year making movies because it works better for like their taxes or something that way. And there are a lot of times where they've got a projected budget and they're just like, all right, well, we're $40 million under projected for the year. What are we going to make? Half the time they find somebody and they just say, write something. Other times there have been instances where they've pulled scripts out of their vaults that they bought 15 or 20 years before and just made them because they needed to get something made. Like, it's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's the machine. They have to just keep making movies.
Right.
What are
It's
some
like
examples of
garbage.
those kind of movies that were just made to like hit their mark that year?
Yeah, this probably.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I've read about a few. I'm having difficulty thinking of a big one off the top of my head. And there have been a couple of examples. I mean, I know there were instances like, it's a little bit different, but like Clint Eastwood bought the script for the movie Unforgiven like 35 years before he actually made the movie because he wanted to wait until he was old enough to play the lead part.
That's interesting.
Right. But I something I'd have to look up again. But I know there have been instances in the past where it's like the studio had this script floating around for 5 years or 7 years in a vault somewhere, and then finally decided to make it out of nowhere. And yeah,
The Emoji Movie.
probably something like the Emoji Movie. No, I think that's one of those ones where they were just like, we need to spend money on something. What do we make? And they're like, kids like emojis, make an Emoji Movie.
Fucking abomination.
Right.
Let's review it. No.
No.
No, I'm burned out after this
Steve
movie.
drops the line.
Right. This is like, I'd rather be thrown into your freezer. Like,
All right, so let's talk about the actual film, Theodore Rex. So I guess the premise is Whoopi Goldberg is like this cyborg cop in the future. Now, in this future, there's also dinosaurs that are like humanoid dinosaurs that are about, the size of people. They're about, 5'9", 5'10". And they, I don't know, they just have the same intelligence level as people and they live among us. They wear clothes because they were cloned by some guy.
They take showers and brush their teeth.
Yeah, exactly. They spend a really long time doing it.
what is the point of like cloning human-like dinosaurs? Like you said, they're about human size. They've got roughly human intelligence, but they've got the tails and the claws, and they don't eat meat. It's like, what's the point? What do these things exist for?
I don't know. They just they don't serve a special purpose in the community. They just like all have their own jobs. Like one's like a singer, like one's like a cop.
Yeah, our main guy
They just have like regular jobs.
This movie's like Blade Runner meets Ghost in the Shell meets Island of Dr. Moreau meets Jurassic Park meets Vomit. Like,
I would also throw in a meets Bright, but Bright came out like 2 years ago. But very similar vibes. Yeah, I mean, they got that same kind of like, you know, as we've reviewed recently, that like detective style movie where it's like they're solving a case.
Yeah. Well, and there was a big rush of that in the early 90s. Like all of a sudden there was really, I would say going back to the late 80s, you start with something like Body Heat, Larry Kasdan's Body Heat, which won an Academy Award, great movie. There's a period between then and like 95 where reaching back, doing a lot of 30s noir inspired stuff was real big. Saw it hit a lot of different movies.
Yeah, Dick Tracy was
Yeah, well, and that one's one of my favorites, man. The art direction in that film was stellar. I mean, that movie looks great, even if you don't like the film, and I do, but even if you don't, it just looks fucking fantastic. They nailed it.
I have weird memories of being really into that movie at like a not age appropriate, like I was like 4 or something.
Right? Yeah, I saw it in a theater, and I just immediately, I mean, I've always had a copy of it on home video. I think I've got multiple at home right now. Like, I love that movie. Absolutely.
Alan, you ever see Dick Tracy as a kid?
I remember that movie, but I never saw it.
Do you remember like the Dick Tracy like craze that was kind of around that time?
Yeah.
I remember like a lot of kids just like to say the word dick. So
Yeah.
like, they would say Dick Tracy. It was just like an excuse to say dick.
Dick Grayson.
Dick. Yeah, oh yeah. There's another one.
I want to go back a minute because this movie barely makes sense after watching it. And everything they explained, you only get after watching the whole movie. But this movie starts with the text intro, and it just jumps from 0 to 60 like that. The whole intro starts explaining about his evil plan to wipe out the humans and
Once upon a time in the future. At midnight tomorrow, billionaire Eleazar Kane
will launch his new Eden missile to bring on another ice age. After mankind is extinct, Kane will reanimate the pairs of all Earth's animals he keeps frozen in his ark and create his vision of paradise. 1 hour ago, 2 workers escaped from the new Eden compound and are racing to tell the police about Kane's master plan.
What does the beginning even say? It just goes so crazy.
This guy's invented like a missile that can force another ice age to start, and on a certain day he's planning on launching it and killing most of the living things on Earth.
They tell you this in the very beginning
Yeah.
before anything happens.
So there's no mystery in it. By the time the two of them get to him at the end, it's like, well, we knew that.
It's a very interesting tactic to give away the bad guy's plan at the beginning instead of the end.
Right? Like, how many Bond movies would people sit through if there was a text crawl at the beginning? It's like, here's what he's going to do.
The very beginning.
Yeah, literally. Before you see any actors on screen, it's that text and it explains the bad guy's plot.
Yeah.
And it's confusing because like we finished watching it, but just watching it for the first time, it's very confusing.
Yeah, you
And
know
there's
what the
a lot
goal
of
is,
stuff
but how
going
they
on.
try to get there is what you don't understand.
I still don't understand why he's doing it. Why is he doing it?
And who are the grid police? They never explain
Yeah,
that.
why are they called the grid police? Like,
And what is the ninja grid?
yeah, like what are
The
the
Ninja's
grid?
Grid is where the one Japanese guy lives, the
Yeah.
toy maker.
It's like, dude, it's fucking so segregated. There's one Asian guy.
There's a lot of
living
racist undertones. There's like
there. Right.
Whoopi Goldberg is a racist in this
Yeah.
movie.
I know she's a speciesist.
Whatever.
Speciesist.
She hates dinosaurs.
Dinophobic.
She fucking hates him. She's like, he's a dinosaur. He can't be my partner.
Coltrane, there's been a homicide and your name came up.
Am I a suspect?
Actually, it was a dinocide. A dinosaur is dead.
Teddy Rex, meet Katie Coltrane.
Hi.
You two solved this case together.
Whoa, what? What?
Teddy's in public relations, but I'm field promoting him temporarily.
He's a dinosaur.
Come on, Coltrane. He graduated from the academy just like you did.
He's a dinosaur.
You're not a speciesist, are you?
Give me results by prime time tomorrow, and I'll double your regular commissions.
He's a dinosaur. Come on.
Hey, Coltrane, straighten up and fly right. This is your chance for a comeback. Don't blow it.
He's a dinosaur.
Dirty,
Like,
damn
yeah,
dirty dinosaurs.
we get it. Come on. Shut the fuck up.
There was that scene where the dinosaurs made the pass at her, though.
Yeah,
When they were at
yeah.
the bar.
Yo, God, that creepy rhinoceros, Triceratops. Yeah,
That was
thing was
weird.
fucking strange.
Everything about this movie.
Because there's some point where, like, so they're trying to solve a crime. The Whoopi Goldberg, who's a cop, and her new partner, this
thing.
Theodore Rex, T-Rex, they all call him Teddy. They go to this nightclub, and at the bar, that's where she gets hit on, right?
Yeah, by the other dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're like trying to bang Whoopi Goldberg. Like
That's weird.
taking. I don't know.
How are the dynamics of that sort of interspecies sex even played out? Like, I don't really want to know, but that's an interesting thought.
Whoopi Goldberg and a dinosaur.
Oh, that's a scenario I do not want to imagine at all. Forget it.
Cat's out of the bag.
Right.
So, I mean, what to talk about? So, it's a buddy cop film, right?
Yeah, I would say it's a buddy cop film, kind of sort of attempting to be like a sci-fi cyberpunk noir mystery at the same time, and it just unilaterally fails.
At everything. It's not even like a buddy cop film. There's no dynamic. It's a fucking dinosaur.
Right?
He's a dinosaur!
It's a little bit buddy cop, a little bit.
What buddy cop?
Yeah.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg hates dinosaurs, and her cop or her partner is a dinosaur, obviously. So that's a thing. Now, there's usually an arc, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at something like Alien Nation, which started off being a feature film and then was adapted to a TV show. I think both were good, but the movie was better. It's basically the same storyline. A human cop gets paired with an alien partner, and there's this acceptance factor that goes along with it. But they did it well there, as opposed to...
They didn't do it at all here. She just was like, by the end, she was just fine. Like, at some point, she was just fine with him. Like, But they never really have, like, he doesn't, like, save her, and she's like, well, thanks for saving me, but I still don't like you, kind of thing.
Right.
You know, they didn't, like, kind of build to it. At some point, she just is no longer having a problem with him.
I just, wouldn't want you marrying one of my children.
The dinosaur that loves cookies. He lives off cookies and some other weird, like, plant jelly. What was that shit he
why
showed
does
her?
he like cookies so much?
Yeah, he likes cookies and some, like, algae food.
Because he's a vegetarian, but he's a T-Rex. Get it?
Not really.
He's a recovering carnivore.
Yeah, that's the way he describes it.
Recovering carnivore. It's almost insulting.
Hey, I'm the one that should be insulted.
Right.
And he doesn't believe in violence, so he's the worst dinosaur I've ever seen. He doesn't eat meat. He doesn't believe in violence. He's this weird humanoid boring dinosaur.
He's a liberal pussy, goddammit.
Yeah, he sucks.
He ain't no American.
There is the one scene where he almost eats the ninja because he gets pissed off, but of course he doesn't.
The toy maker.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the toy maker. Let's see if we can follow some plot lines here.
It's like the key maker from the Matrix. Except this story's more complicated than that somehow.
So, I mean, what happens? So
so
they're trying to solve this mystery, right? They get attacked by these goons every now and then. It happens. They don't really ever fight them off. They just kind of luck out of the situation. Like,
the bad guys are kind of like half Jawa, half Foot Clan. I don't even know what to think of them.
Yeah, I said this when we were watching it, but they remind me of like goons out of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
They got like these
absolutely.
weird, like, colorful outfits with dreads and goggles and I don't know, man. They just look like they're going to a club.
A lot of mixed themes. Those guys was one of those areas I thought they looked like they were trying to pull from cyberpunk stuff and didn't work.
The movie, the whole thing starts off with what they call a dino side from the Dinoologist.
Dinoologist.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think she's... So they call it a dino side. But
which is a homicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dinosaur.
So a dinosaur gets killed.
And then Teddy has some kind of like psychic connection that he vaguely explains that he can feel it or communicate. And they're like somehow linked together.
Fire, slow down.
No, it's just fossils creep me out.
Why is that?
Oh, I can feel my ancestors, you know?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Your ancestors?
Yeah, staring at me, talking to me.
Yeah, right. What are they saying?
Well, they want me to follow my heart, do the right thing, the usual.
Please.
And he could hear his ancestors and other dinosaurs. So he has to find out why this dinosaur got murdered.
So what is that about? What is the psychic link, Alan? Explain it in detail.
Midi-chlorians.
I can't because the movie doesn't tell you anything in detail. They just touch on it like they have some kind of like vague powers where they can communicate. And when they're in the museum, he says he can hear his ancestors speaking to him. And it's just like some kind of extrasensory perception of other dinosaurs, and they're somehow linked together. It's stupid.
Do you recall what he says his ancestors are telling him?
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart. That sounds like something ancient Tyrannosaurus Rex would tell its ancestors.
I don't even know that.
Follow your heart.
One of the older dinosaurs does tell him to give up or something.
He's like, give up on trying to be a cop.
Yeah. He tells him to give up.
You're not good at it. You're generally clumsy, and it's just not for you, quite frankly.
That ain't dino work.
So yeah, they have some kind of dino force power they never explain.
Yeah, so again, I guess the whole plot is they're trying to figure out who killed this one dinosaur, right? And they go around the city looking into clues that they don't really find. It's never like really clear. It's like, look, we found a clue. Let's go here. They just happen to go to a place and then talk to someone. Like they go to the guy's funeral.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when Teddy, the T-Rex guy, takes home the singer from the nightclub.
Oh,
yeah,
Molly?
that's an obnoxious side story.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty good. It's romantic, bro.
Oh,
have a heart, Steve.
Yeah.
They also call the funeral a recycling. That was kind of creepy and awkward. Just referring to it as a recycling. Oh, we're going to Oliver's recycling. Like,
Yeah,
what?
because they turn them into like oil and they fuel their cars or something. Or no, they feed it to plants.
What's
I don't know what the fuck.
It's stupid.
I feel like I've said I don't know what the fuck's going on in our last 3 reviews way too many times.
Yeah, there's no
it's
way
very
to know.
appropriate for this movie.
Yeah, they don't explain anything. It's totally nonlinear. It's just like here's some things that happened along the way.
The editing in this movie is so bad; it's really hard to tell like what happens in between scenes sometimes.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure when Teddy, Theodorus Rex, takes home Molly Rex to his apartment and they start like dancing. They start slow dancing. It like cuts and then like she's putting on this ring. I'm pretty sure in between that they fucked. It's just that the editing sucks so much you can't really tell.
I've got some news for you, Theodore. I'm carrying your egg.
I had a hard time
Carrying your egg.
deciphering which scenes even mattered to the story.
None of
I felt
them.
like it was just a lot of things happening for no reason.
They could have gone from the opening crawl to the last 10 minutes. Like the rest of it didn't matter at all.
Well, I mean, at some point they find out they gotta get to the toy maker, which Alan was talking about earlier.
Oh, who lives in the Ninja Grid?
Yeah, he lives in the Ninja Grid.
What is the Ninja Grid?
Now, where would our killer get a weapon like this?
Only one name comes to mind. In techno-kill circles, he's known as the Toy Maker.
Toy maker.
So where do we find him?
He runs a dead storage company as a cover. It's called Dragon Tail Dead Storage Company. Somewhere on the Ninja Grid. Good luck, Coltrane.
So they somehow find out that the toy maker made the little like butterfly bomb that killed the dinosaur whose death they're investigating. So they go to his place. This is a pretty interesting scene, actually. So they go to...
I can't wait to hear you defend that statement.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying things happen, and I can describe them.
Right.
Okay? So they go to the toy maker's place, and they're looking for this guy, but instead they encounter, I guess, his toys. So there's like a little puppet that comes up out of a box that's like talking shit and is like, "Hey, get out of here! What are you doing
What is
here?"
that thing?
What
What was
purple thing?
Yeah.
Like this humanoid little creature thing?
it? It looked like a golem. Like, what is it? Someone explain it to me.
Like I said, what the fuck, like out loud, I think.
Right?
Like, why is this happening in this movie?
What was it, like?
What is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing here. I have no idea. You know, Korey, you've seen it recently. There's a scene in Blade Runner where Pris meets J.R. Sebastian, and he takes her into his apartment, and he's got the 2 little people dressed up, and they're supposed to be biological toys, basically, that he's made for himself. They're like his friends.
Right.
I kind of got the feeling this was supposed to be that kind of moment. Like this little guy was made by the toy maker, like as a goof, or to have. But like they never say. There's no explanation. It's just like here's this tiny human thing that lives in a bag for some fucking.
And he just
reason.
kind of like shows up.
Yeah.
It just happens.
And
then
where did
you're
it
like,
come
what
from? Why
the
is it
fuck?
there?
It's that
Yeah.
same Blade Runner concept that you just described, but just done absolutely wrong. It
Yeah.
just goes to show that any concept can be good or bad,
Right.
no matter how it is on paper. Because it's basically the same thing.
And this one was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, really fucking bad.
Yeah.
All right, so the toy maker. He's a guy that is dressed like a Mortal Kombat character.
Right. When they say he lives in the Ninja Grid, but he's dressed like a samurai. Those are different things.
Oh shit! They fucked up this time.
I'm about to have a neckbeard moment. Let's keep going.
And it somehow turns into a scene or I was confused here. I don't know why. That Teddy decides to buy guns from him, and he ends up pulling out like several huge guns. I still don't know why.
They're gonna try to get info out of him, and they're like posing as gun buyers. They're like, yeah, we're here to buy a gun. That's the real reason we're here. And he's like, okay, here's my guns.
Yeah.
But then immediately they're like, tell us about the fucking bomb, asshole.
Right. And they put his head inside Teddy's mouth.
Yeah. So all right. So they say, tell us about the bomb. He lets off another bomb. And then they capture him after that because they're okay. They don't get blown up, unfortunately. And then they like torture information out of him. Do you guys remember how they proceed about this torturing?
They just keep telling him Teddy's going to eat him.
Well, no. The guy first Teddy sits on him and fucking farts.
Oh, that's right.
That's the kind of humor this movie brings.
Oh yeah, his butt trumpet.
Right. Oh, that's what it was. You're right. The butt trumpet.
That's what they refer to it as.
Gotta go blue. You've got nothing else.
And his breath, somehow his breath smells, because that's where they start first.
Yeah, they start blowing the breath in the face. It has no effect. And then they do the butt trumpet thing. Doesn't work. And then he's like, all right, I'm just going to bite your fucking head off unless you tell us. He's like, all right, I'll tell you.
It's dumb.
Yeah. Pretty dumb. So what does the guy tell him? He says, well, I don't know. He says Kane is behind everything. Kane is the guy that intends to turn the world into the Ice Age again for reasons. And he also has cloned all the dinosaurs. So all the dinosaurs that exist are because of him. And this is just fine in the world. Like, you can just create these dinosaurs and, you know, give them, like, human intelligence, have them walk around, and it's fine. There's no, like, repercussions to this.
It's Armin Mueller-Stahl, and he's got a real weird resume. I mean, he's been in some garbage, but he's also been in, like, Academy Award-nominated films. You never know what you're going to get with that dude. It's still weird.
Well, didn't Whoopi Goldberg win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Role in Ghost?
Did she? You know, she might have. That movie did get nominated.
I thought she did.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
The guy goes into another convoluted plot point about how he made some kind of like serum that lets you reanimate because he made it from like the fishes, like in the deepest part of the ocean or something.
Yeah.
And that if you inject this serum, you can defrost or you can still live or something.
Yeah, that's right. He says he isolated the enzyme that allows them to live after being frozen solid.
Yeah, so there's another useless details or just another part added in to confuse you more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have to say it, but it's just you don't follow. It's really hard to track what's going on. Maybe it's the order in which they tell you things.
It's the order and the pacing. It's just awkward. It's stumbly. It doesn't flow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing good to add.
Okay, so Act 3, I think. So we got Whoopi
We had
Goldberg.
acts?
I don't know. It's just one long fucking.
This is like an experiment.
One long drain on my soul.
Yeah.
Like, Kenneth Branagh's version of Hamlet was unabridged and ran like 4.25 hours long theatrically with an intermission. And I wasn't bored for a moment during it. 20 minutes into this, I was like, I'm done. I need to get done, finished with this movie.
What about Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein?
It's interesting. I like his Shakespearean stuff. I have mixed feelings about his version of De Niro, who was Frankenstein, was a weird choice. Very, very weird choice. And on multiple levels, we should discuss that separately. Like,
I would really like to.
Yeah.
I've defended that movie since I was like 11.
There is a lot, in fairness, that is worth defending about that movie. He's a very good filmmaker, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Helena Bonham Carter, though, man, she was beautiful. In any case.
We didn't even mention the whole Molly, like, burlesque dance scene where Molly is at the club.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, tell us about it, Alan.
God, why did I even say something?
She finds her sexy.
She's supposed to be like the sexy dinosaur.
Yeah, Molly.
She has this like Jessica Rabbit, like, you know, nightclub like song moment.
Sexosaurus Rex.
Yeah, and it's like 5 minutes, which is way too long and feels like it's longer. But it's just her singing some unforgettable song.
Unforgettable?
I don't even know what she was singing. I don't remember the words.
Forgettable would be the word.
Or I mean unforgettable. Never mind, I'm retarded. Very forgettable. What's the opposite of unforgettable? Forgettable.
Flammable means flammable.
Forgettable. So she sings this forgettable song.
Relations like Your claws for the bodacious, cretaceous, Mesozoic mama, Miss Molly Rex!
Oh, there's like, it's just so awkward the way she's moving around and dancing and trying to be like sexy, but it's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Dinosaur puppet.
Yeah,
They
puppet.
talk to her in her like changing makeup room afterwards, and the detectives are asking her about the guy that got killed. Like, what do you know about him? And she's describing it, and she's like behind like a, like a wall separator thing, and she's like changing, and you see her like pull down her stockings.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like supposed to be like that Sharon Stone moment in Basic Instincts where you see up her skirt, except it's not at all. It's really just uncomfortable.
I don't know if it's supposed to be quite that.
Yeah.
This like rough-skinned animatronic dinosaur. It's so awkward.
The cast apparently thought at one point that most of the dinosaurs were going to be redone with CG. I can't imagine what that would have looked like.
1995 CG, it would have looked like probably
Cat Eye's Jabba from the special edition version of episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to use a movie relevant to 95, but yeah.
It's only 2 years later.
But yeah, true. I mean, my thought would have been Jumanji. The CG in the first Jumanji is not good.
I'll defend that one. I think it was really good at the time it came out. It really was. It just didn't age well. It didn't age the way like T2 or Jurassic Park did.
It sucks.
This movie sucks.
I'll debate you a little bit about that. I'd still say it's better than Cat Eye's Jabba.
All right.
It's still better than this movie.
Everything's better in this movie.
Oh yeah, Jumanji, which came out the same year, is better for sure. All right, so that's Molly. Let's also meet kid whose name we don't know.
What is that kid's name?
That kid.
Yeah, that kid. So Whoopi Goldberg has like befriended a local like kid that works at a fucking hot dog stand or something.
Keeps trying to pimp her out to his dad.
Yeah. There's like I guess a joke like that the kid wants Whoopi Goldberg to date the kid's dad. I don't know if that's exactly what was going on there. But.
Yeah, it's weird, unnecessary.
But the kid is basically like her little friend, right?
Yeah.
He's just there to get captured, which he does. Do you guys remember how he gets captured? It's pretty funny.
Oh, he's at the rollerblading park, or where is he? Like some skate park or something. And he finds some glowing like arcade machine. And it's weird because he's like, why is this there? It just looks weird. And as he goes up to it, they grab him and like bring him into the machine and kidnap him.
Yeah, there's a guy in the machine
Yeah.
like behind the screen that just breaks through the screen and pulls him in.
It's actually
They
kind of
set up this like kid booby trap.
Yeah. What is it? You said it was a mimic?
Yeah, it's a fucking D&D like mimic. Oh, a treasure.
Nope.
It's not a treasure, it's your ass.
Yeah. So they kidnapped this kid. So dumb.
Yeah. So he's kidnapped. Molly gets captured as well, somehow. And they're being, held as hostages by the big bad, Kane, the wrestler.
Molly gets captured when she's taking a bath.
Yeah, that's right.
And they like break into her house and it's weird.
She's like taking a bath. Right next to her, like 1 foot away from her head, is like a little window. And some guy just like sticks his hand through the window and points a gun at her head. It's pretty good.
Brilliant.
Couldn't have been better.
All right.
No way.
How do you get better than this, gentlemen?
This is like hard even talking about.
I mean, I'm bored of it. I want to be done talking about it. Worse than I wanted the movie to be over.
Steve's already checked out.
All right. I'm thinking about dinner. Fuck this.
All right. So they go to face off against Kane and his goons to like rescue everyone and stop this fucking ice age that they're trying to enforce.
They go to fight Kane and Edge, which were both WWF wrestlers.
That's true. Kane and Edge, the ultimate tag team.
And he's
Where's
got-
Christian and the Undertaker?
Right. He's got this whole, what he calls the arc. He's like saving biosamples of all the world's animals so that he can recreate them after the freeze. But I want to know why. There's no why.
They don't tell you why. They don't tell you why he does that. They don't tell you what the grid police are. They don't tell you what the ninja grid is. They don't tell you how any of these guns work. They don't tell you how a dinosaur can drive. They don't tell you how that helicopter works. They don't tell you about how Whoopi Goldberg works. She's some kind of weird BioWare
At
android.
one point, she's just like electrical. Like,
They
she's
explain
shorting out.
nothing. None of this movie is explained.
Yeah. At one point, she's like, my BioWare is glitching out. And I've like played BioWare games and I'm like, oh God. I feel you. I feel you there.
Oh, God.
She gets shot in the end when they finally confront them. She gets shot like 6 times.
Yep.
And that's when her BioWare glitches out. But she got shot. Like, they don't explain that. How is she not dead or like severely? She's just temporarily incapacitated.
Bullet resistant.
Yeah.
She's a T-1000 advanced
Right.
prototype.
Well, then also, okay, I didn't even think about this till just now. If she's like an android cop, and you go back to the scene where they tell her they're going to partner her with Teddy, and she's like, "No, I don't want to be partners with the dinosaur." Why does a machine get the option? Like, why is it even able to argue? It's a fucking android. You should be able to just program it and say, "This is your partner." Be like, "Oh, okay, thanks."
Also,
Like,
why does she have
who wants a police officer robot that talks back?
terminate?
Terminate, kill it.
Maybe she's more of a cyborg.
It's just got her own personality.
Okay.
It never makes sense to me, though. I mean, honestly, it doesn't make sense to me in Star Wars, and I love Star Wars, but it doesn't make sense to me there. Why does C-3PO need a personality? He's there to do a job. His job is to translate for you. He doesn't need to be sassy. Just translate. Shut the fuck up and translate. That do you speak bocce or not? Like,
well, if droids could think, there'd be none of us here, would there?
Right?
That brings up another point where we're not sure what Whoopi Goldberg is, but regardless, she seems to have none of like the enhanced powers of being a cyborg.
Yeah.
She should be able to have like speed and power and jump, and she should be able to just crush people, but she never does
She
at all.
should be Kusanagi. And she's like the farthest possible thing from it.
Yeah, she should be a lot stronger, more badass.
Right?
She should have like, little attachments that have like grappling hooks that shoot out of her wrists or something. She
But
just
she
has a
doesn't
gun.
do any of that.
Nothing.
She's like Two-Face. She's got a gun.
Go watch
She's a
Ghost in the Shell. Get the
BioWare
taste of this out of my mouth.
cyborg android.
Ghost in the Shell's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the anime. I'm not watching that live action one again.
Almost had him. No.
Right.
So they face off. Whoopi Goldberg gets shot, unfortunately, and we have our T-Rex Teddy, who goes after the big bads. So Edge, who is like the main henchman, and Kane, who is a wrestler that wears all red.
Mayor Kane.
Yeah, who is the mayor of some city in Tennessee. Knox County or something.
Yeah. He's the mayor, dude. Mayor Kane.
So she goes after, the dinosaur goes after them and stops them somehow with like, he doesn't want to use a gun because he doesn't believe in violence, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's a T-Rex.
Yep.
So he like creates a grappling hook and like throws it to the car they're driving away in, and somehow it crashes the car, I think. Or no, wait, does he slide in? He like kicks him.
He grapples Kane, and then it causes the car to crash with Edge in it.
And Edge dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
he
think-
kills Edge even though he doesn't believe in violence.
It's stupid. It doesn't make sense.
You don't think it's a masterpiece?
What's the opposite of masterpiece?
Theodore Rex.
Right. The antonym for masterpiece is Theodore Rex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the bad guy gets captured and they stop this Ice Age event. Like, it's like a remote control missile or something, right? So he fires it at the
Yeah.
beginning and it's like 100 countdown. It's like 100 seconds until it like sets the whole world into a new Ice Age, but he turns it off at the last second.
Except it's like 10 minutes in the film.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes. Yeah,
it's
for
stupid.
sure. After about, actually, no, it might be more, because after about 10 minutes, they're like, countdown's at 50. It's like, come on.
It's always the way it goes in movies, man. The timer never matches.
Yeah,
real
but
time.
they
This
really
one's
fuck it
really
up.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no consistency here. It's just whatever's happening.
There was one. What was that movie called? It's like one of his few attempts to do like a mainstream action movie. Johnny Depp was in a movie about the same time this came out, where he's like an accountant or something, and bad
Nick of
guys.
Time.
Nick of Time. There you go. And I mean, it's not exact, but they timed the movie out to the time in the film down to like, I mean, they're only off by like 3 minutes or something.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
they
like
did a
that.
great job. Yeah.
I like that idea, like, you know, to try to make it like, yeah.
Right.
I like real-time stuff in movies.
Yeah, it wasn't a great movie, but that part of it was clever. Absolutely.
You guys ever see Locke?
No.
It's like a real-time movie with Tom Hardy. It's just him in his car on his phone for the whole movie. And the whole movie is his conversations about, like, things that are happening in his life and his job. It's actually really good.
Interesting. I like him.
Yeah, it's like a pretty good experimental type of film, but that's all the movie. It's just him in his car.
Right. Huh.
Anyway, so this movie ends about here. So the ending is kind of your typical, like, big ceremony. They save the day. They give, like, the Medal of Honor or whatever to T-Rex guy.
Princess Leia gives the medals. Oh, wait, no.
Teddy's in a sling because he got injured.
Yeah.
One of his arms is in a sling. So they saved the day, but he got injured, and
stupid.
They're the heroes, and Teddy finally became the hotshot detective he always dreamed of being.
Fuck.
Full character arc, man.
And then our nightmare was over.
They didn't even start on a character arc for any of the characters in this movie. It's just like, here's some people and a dinosaur.
Whoopi Goldberg's racist, and then by the end, she's not.
Oh, God.
She's a racist cyborg. And then we got the would-be detective dinosaur.
She's a speciesist. She's a speciesist.
Yeah,
it's amazing that like artificial intelligence can be so bigoted. It makes sense.
That'll bring about the downfall of humanity. Shit like that. She's gonna have, first it's the dinosaurs, then the rest of us, man.
It's like Skynet, but racist.
Did you just assume my race?
Right. I identify as an artificial intelligence.
I identify as a dinosaur.
Ugh.
Well, I guess that's all there is to this movie.
Thank God.
Yeah, we've already given it a lot, Mark. I think we maybe spent a combined like 12 minutes actually talking about this movie, but
this review is going to be a little bit shorter than most. But I mean, the movie itself is pretty short. It's 90 minutes, and it's just like incoherent fucking plot points and stupid fucking fart jokes.
I mean, they could trim it down. You take about 88 minutes out of it, it'll be all right.
They could cut some shit out of this. This is like a long time of this dude fucking brushing his teeth and taking a shower.
That helicopter scene where he was like swinging through the air was like fucking almost 10 minutes.
It felt like it. Like, it should have been a lot shorter.
Yeah, there was nothing redeeming about this. Nothing funny about it. Too long, too cringy, not funny, bad.
Not funny. What's your rating?
Can I go lower than 0?
I think you can.
I honestly want to go negative with this film. I hated Mario Brothers, and other movies are like, okay, whatever. But this movie was just garbage beyond garbage. There was nothing redeeming about this. There was nothing interesting. There was nothing funny. The story didn't make sense. It was hard to follow. They spent $33 million on this. I'm giving it a -2 dinosaurs out of 50. I hated it.
Steve.
I'm not even going to give it a normal rating. I'm just going to refer to it as an extinction level event. Like, this is the kind of movie that just makes you want to be extinct.
I'm going to give this movie 0 out of 10. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's fucking horrible. I hate it. Whoopi Goldberg, whose character is really angry. I'm pretty sure that's just her pissed for losing that lawsuit and being forced to be in this fucking piece of shit.
She got an extra $2 million out of it.
The dinosaur is an unlikable fucking happy-go-lucky piece of shit. The kind of people I don't like in real life, actually. He's just like, oh, I'm a fucking goofball dinosaur. I'm just trying to be fuck you. Fuck this movie. Fuck the long takes of stupid, inane shit of like them walking to a car. Like, trim that shit out, bro. Fucking padding, man. I don't like this movie.
No.
At all.
Yeah, this might be the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'd rather do a back-to-back double showing of Mario Brothers and Batman and Robin.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I mean, seriously.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
The Room is better than this movie.
I'd rather be in the waiting room of Planned Parenthood nervously awaiting STD test results. Like, I really don't want to do this again. Like,
and you swore never to do that again.
Right? After the third time, it gets really fucking tiring.
I wish that was an actual scene, and then you like whisper to yourself, you're like, man, at least I'm not watching Theodore Rex.
Right? You know what? From now on, anytime I'm like stuck at the DMV or like doing something I really don't want to be doing, like I'm fucking vacuuming, scrubbing my shower, it's like, you know what? At least I'm not watching Theodore Rex.
No shit, man.
That's what gets me through the tough times now.
Right.
I think about how much worse my life could be.
Right.
Yeah,
Just start yelling at homeless people. Hey, at least you're not watching Theodore Rex.
They don't know how good they have it.
Right. Look, that tent's a hell of a lot better than a night with Theodore Rex.
You ever seen Theodore Rex, though? Well, you fucking dodged the bullet, man.
Yeah. If you haven't seen this movie, I wouldn't. This was a mistake. I apologize.
Yeah. And don't watch it for this podcast, that's for sure. I doubt anyone will, but, you know.
If you're thinking about it, don't.
If you find another video that tries to make a case to this movie, you just send hate mail to whoever created it.
There can't be. There cannot be people defending this movie.
I think there are. I really do.
Okay.
I don't want to know them.
Is this movie good for kids?
No.
I mean, it's not content inappropriate, but I can't imagine even a kid really liking this.
I had a hard time following the story as an adult. I can't imagine a kid would know what the fuck is going on at all.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a little kid, I really liked dinosaurs.
Yeah, me too.
I was a kid of the 80s, so that means I was a kid in the 90s.
Right.
So 90s was a big time for dinosaurs and little
Dude,
kids.
dinosaurs are sick.
So,
they're like, real dinosaurs.
Do you think we would have liked this movie if we were kids because of the dinosaur stuff?
I mean, I was still about that age when it came out, and like, I have no memory of even knowing what it was until I saw it in the video rental store and didn't care to see it. And like, I mean, Jurassic Park, I went apeshit over. By the time I was 6 or 7, you show me a poster of a bunch of dinosaurs, I could tell you what 2/3 of them were called and what period they lived in. I love dinosaur shit. Even then, I really don't think so.
No. No.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's no way we could know, but yeah.
Yeah,
I would like to
I'm wrong.
hope, you know?
Yeah.
You know what the dinosaurs in the nightclub reminded me of? I just thought of this. You guys remember Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yeah. Oh, God, the casino scene?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, my God, you're so right.
I was right in the middle of a fucking reptile zoo. And somebody was giving booze to these goddamn things. It won't be long now before they tear us to shreds.
100% you're right.
Someone was giving these things booze.
I fucking love that movie. Holy shit. Oh, man. Yeah, you're right, though. Totally. Oh.
So, I think it's Alan's turn to draw from the hat. If you don't mind handing it over, Steve. You drew this one, right, Steve? That was your lucky draw?
I believe I did.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's see.
This better not be fucking macking me.
Okay. Nothing can be worse than this movie.
Macking me might be.
Oh, my God.
I don't think Mac and me's in the hat. I'm pretty sure it's not.
Okay, I picked at random. I don't know what I got, but we'll find out right now.
I'm crossing my fingers and toes.
Oh, okay. This is actually kind of a funny one. It says any M. Night Shyamalan movie.
We get a rando pick.
Okay.
So is that my picking? or
Yeah,
do we
the
all
drawer gets to pick.
So I can pick any M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, damn it.
Yep.
It's the dumbest one.
I think I know what he's going to pick.
No, you don't. Don't underestimate my powers.
You underestimate my power. All right, so we have to go with ones he directed, obviously, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, there's
Not going to be Sixth Sense. It's too good.
No.
All right, so The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable,
Yep.
Signs,
Yep.
The Village, Lady in the Water, The Happening, The Last Airbender, After Earth, The Visit, Split, and Glass.
Great. There's one movie in there I don't hate.
The Lady in the Water.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, you know what? You were right. I didn't guess correctly.
That one's supposed to be pretty dumb. Haven't seen it. Paul Giamatti.
I never saw the whole thing. I thought for sure you would pick The Happening, The Last Airbender, or After Earth, but
Yeah.
Lady
I
in the
thought about
Water-
After Earth. I saw The Happening and it was stupid.
The After Earth has your favorite actor.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Steve's favorite actor.
No, he's already picked. It's too late. You cannot repick because Jaden's in it. It's
Cyber Rage.
No.
You're right. You've already picked.
I want
Lady
to
in
use
the
my
Water.
one reroll.
Damn it. Throw him a lifeline.
No, I want Lady in the
Fucking-
Water.
You got the luck perk.
That one, yeah, that one's supposed to be pretty dumb.
All right, Lady in the Water it is. Paul Giamatti.
All right.
Damn
Well, thank you all for listening to this short episode of Big Dumb Movie. Don't see Theodore Rex. Just, I don't know, go out to dinner with your family. Do something, man.
Anything else.
Somebody send help for me.
It's not worth it. You got everything you need to know from this podcast right now. That's all you need to know.
Now, Lady in the Water, now that's going to be a good one.
Good in what sense?
Good as in it's better than Theodore Rex.
It's going to be a movie.
It's a, you know what? It's a movie. We can agree about that.
That sure was a movie we saw.
Next time on Movie.
Join us next time on our podcast, Movie.
Movie. Ugh.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. If you want to email in, you can email us at bigdumbmovie@gmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram, Big Dumb Movie Podcast. We're also on YouTube. And thank you for listening.
See ya.
Let's get drunk.
He's a dinosaur!